Namaste and welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity. We're going to answer another question from the jar. Well, this jar only has two questions left inside of it, so if you have any questions you want me to attempt to answer again, I will never answer anything perfectly, and I'm by no means professing to be some type of expert or person who can advise or suggest anything. I'm simply sharing what I've learned the hard way and through these wonderful learnings I've gained through ancient wisdom traditions that I have had the opportunity to study and practice. So, yeah, my answers will never be perfect, but if you have any questions that you want me to attempt, and I'll stress that attempt to answer, I'll be happy to do so if you write it down in the comment section. And if you, again, I shouldn't say if you, I want you again to realize that the biggest amount of knowledge and wisdom exists within you, not within anybody else. So if you can even write the question down and ask yourself the question to see if you can answer it and do your best to answer it, or search and seek and find what you need to answer it, that would be great for you and for all of us, because every bit of wisdom we gain and every bit of wisdom we share is for the whole, not just for the individual person standing here yapping on like I'm yapping on right now. So I pulled out the question. I am going to read it briefly just so I can make sure I can read the writing. It's a good one. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. I went over the last time. Hopefully I'll stay within 10 minutes this time. And I'll do my best to look at the camera in the other video. My little screen was up here, so I was going back and forth like that. But hey, I'm going to look right at the screen now. So the question that I got was, how do we handle boredom? How do we handle boredom? That's a good one. I'm going to take a deep breath. Now relax into what is. So what is boredom? Boredom is that feeling of angst we get when we feel we don't have the distracting diversions to take our minds away from the what isness of our moments, where we are stuck with nothing to do. We feel like we need, as especially a Western culture, productivity minded culture, we always feel like we need something to do. We've got to be doing, we've got to be moving. And that doing and moving is diversional activity that takes us away from the moment, takes us away from the stillness that we could best be expressing right now, sitting here in this moment with nothing to do. I could be sitting and experiencing what's going on in my mind, what's going on in my heart, what's going on in the world around me, what's going on in my body. I could be allowing all of it, noticing all of it, noticing and allowing all of it. And we have a really hard time as humans in this Western culture allowing anything that is not, matching our idea of how things should be. We have a conditioned and programmed set of expectations about how in life should, how and when and with whom life should be going on. And if anything differs from those set of expectations, we have a really hard time with it, right? We have a really hard time accepting the what isness of it. We determine what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what should be in our experiences, and what should not be in our experiences. And we will push away anything in the latter group of the, bad, wrong, shouldn't be. We'll push it away or try to push it away. We'll consider it an aversion and that doesn't fit into my mental schemata, my idea of comfort, my idea of what this human needs, my idea of what gives me peace. So we'll push that away. And when we have experiences that we assume are good and right and should be, we'll be grasping and craving, as the Buddha had said, which is the second noble truth, and which is that there is suffering and there is a cause for suffering. That cause for suffering is our tanha, or our craving tendencies, our constantly seeking and searching out in the external world to make this inner environment comfortable, right? And that means a lot of times resisting that which is not comfortable, the pushing away. When we push away, we think we're pushing away mentally, but what we're doing psychologically is pushing down away from conscious awareness, using two very common defense mechanisms, repression and suppression. So we're pushing down and stuffing down anything that has a great deal of painful energy around it, because we didn't like experiencing it then, so we resisted it then by pushing it down, maybe even by denying it that it ever actually happened. And then we don't want to experience it again. We don't want that to have to come up to our conscious awareness, so we have to relive it and experience and feel that pain again. So we spend our entire lives pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. And we create more and more samskaras with smaller things, maybe that weren't as painful, but were uncomfortable, that disturb this inner environment we have. And we use samskaras, what I call the little samskaras, and push them on top and on top and on top. So we have all this stuffed and stored stuff inside us of discomfort. And we also have this idea inside of us what is good and what's going to make us feel better. And often that idea is associated with things that on the exterior world, things we can gain and grasp and cling to from the exterior world and hold on to. So we're using the exterior world to both give us comfort, and we're using the exterior, and we're pushing away the exterior world when it is causing discomfort. So that's a mental game we play, right? It's just mental. It's not really happening. We can't change what happens. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Life is going to be life. It's going to give us this. It's going to give us that. It's going to take away this. It's going to take away that. It's going to cause comfort. It's going to cause discomfort. But it's not the external world. It's this mess we've collected and stored inside that we call me, that has become our psyche and our sense of self, our self-concept, our ego. This is our little personality now. All these samskaras, we're building bricks around creating our personality. So we've got that to deal with. So when we sit in a room alone, and Pascal said in his Pensées 139, the problem with humanity is that man cannot sit still in a room alone. He can't, because when we're sitting still, when we're bored, when we've got nothing to do, we have to face the internal environment that we've been spending our lives running away from. We have to face this pain, the samskaras, the things we stuffed and stored, because they want to come up. Everything wants to come up to be released. Everything wants to come up to be released. It doesn't want to be stuffed and stored in there. So it's constantly trying to come up. And the only thing that's keeping it down is our mental will, pushing down, holding down. Our grasping, which is diversional, prevents us from having to deal with what's in there, so it doesn't seem like it's coming up. Oh, I'm going to grab that, seeking, searching, craving, preferring, desiring, all that, and it's constantly pushing this down. But when we're in a room where there is no diversional activity, no screens, because that's the biggest one taking us away, and it does it very subtly, but very, very really, like it really does a lot by pulling us away from the what isness of our moments and allowing us not to be bored, but it doesn't allow us to be. That's the thing. When something doesn't allow us to be bored, it doesn't allow us to be exactly who we are, with what we have stored inside us, with what is going on in this moment. It prevents us from being. Okay? Doing prevents us from being. Now, we can be while we're doing, but if we're doing for doing's sake, we are running away from being. And so boredom means I can't be. I'm too uncomfortable to be. I've got too much angst. I can't stay in this moment. I need something to do. I can't deal with this. So what do? If boredom is causing us a great deal of pain and stuff, and this is not just one or two people that feel this way, that find boredom, especially these days, because we have so many distractions. Once those distractions that we become so addicted to have been removed, we even feel this boredom more, right? Because we have more samskara stuffed in here. We have this turbulent mess that wants to coming up all at once, right? So what do we do with that turbulent mess when it's coming up? How do we experience the beingness of this moment? How do I want to be in this moment, in this here and now, living it fully, when it's so painful, when this mind, this monkey mind that has 60,000 thoughts a day on average, 90% of them are repetitive, means the same loop recording going around and around and around again. And at least 80% of those thoughts are negative, that pull me down, pull the energy down, make me feel yucky. Why would I want to sit with that? I'd rather be doing, give me a screen, give me something I can scroll, right? But that scrolling and that diversional activity becomes more and more addictive if it pulls us away, because this becomes more and more determined to be heard, whether we know it or not. It becomes more and more determined to hurt. So that the next minute you find yourself without a screen in a room by yourself and wondering what you're going to do, this is going to be even more demanding of your attention. So what do you do then? You turn around and you say, okay, it's not out there. It's not what I can control with my thumbs. It's not what I can do with my hands or with my body. It's not what I can distract my mind with. That's important. What is important is what I'm trying to distract myself from and why. So that means I have a mess inside me that needs to be cleaned up. And the more I run around pretending that it doesn't need to be cleaned up, the messier it gets in here, to the point that I'm never going to be able to live in here and for a moment of quiet. I'll constantly need to have to run from it. But that running is exhausting. That running doesn't stop this from happening inside. It just makes it worse. So you have to reach a point in your boredom where you say, okay, I am going to sit with being bored. I am going to just sit with being bored. Now, I'm not going to ask boredom to change. I'm not going to ask this experience to change. I know as this person witnessing myself being bored, is going to have to relax into the boredom. So in the boredom experience, we'll practice relaxing. It's a great time to practice relaxing. Practice your deep breaths. Practice relaxing the body. Do a body scan from head to toe. But really focusing on breath is a great anchor. And it's a great time to do that when we're feeling bored. To focus on the breath, because breath is life. Prana is life. Prana is flowing through you. Why not go with that flow rather than constantly trying to fight against it? Why not focus on your breath? The breath going in as the belly expands, the breath going out as the belly falls. Noticing the shoulders, noticing the body's responding to that breath. Just count your breath. Count your breath. Just notice and be aware of breath. So simple. Well, that's boring, crazy lady. Yeah, it's boring compared to all the excitement you get and all the stimulation you get from your screens. But that wasn't you getting lost in your screens. This person sitting here bored, feeling the angst of being bored. That's you. Sit with it. Just sit with the boredom and see what's beyond the boredom. And that will take you, basically, hopefully, to the sensation that you are in this moment. You are not up in the screen and whatever the screen is promising you to take you. You're not there. The screen will never take you where you want to go, because you're here in this moment, sitting on this chair, sitting in this bored experience. This is you, and this is your experience, and this is life. Without all the frills and trappings and distractions, this is your life. Breathe it. Be in it. And from breath, do a body scan. Just come back to the body, because a lot of times we're so distracted by life and our diversional activity that we forget that we're even in a body. And bringing yourself back into the body, becoming aware of what the body is experiencing, is an amazing way to anchor you into your moment again, to take you back into this moment, take you back into being. And so you do that. Do a body scan. See how your body's feeling. Look where the tension's at. Don't get lost in the story, because mind will take you again into another distraction. Mind will create story and narrative around everything you're seeing, feeling, experiencing, and will take you away. Next thing you know, you're thinking about what you have to do for supper and about the kids and about how much money you owe and all this, and that just, again, is a distraction. So you just say, okay, I'm following that again. I'm following that mind narrative story again. So I'm going to take another deep breath, and I'm going to come back into this chair, into this body, and I'll try it again. And so it's all about leaving and coming back, following the mind and stepping back away from the mind. And you're just watching and noticing, noticing and watching, watching and noticing breath, body sensations, what you're experiencing, what's happening on the outside, just being in this moment. And eventually, at first it's going to seem so boring, I don't want to do that. You won't even want to try it. And the real reason you got to stop tricking yourself, because your mind's saying, oh, you don't want to try that because it's just boring. You don't like boring things. You like to do things exciting. Who wants to do that? Just sit there and watch your breath or do that. That's your mind tricking you, because your mind doesn't want you being. That busy mind of yours, that monkey mind that's been habituated and conditioned to be a certain way, doesn't want you just sitting and being. It wants you all over the place. Yeah, it wants you all over the place. But you don't have to listen to that monkey mind. That's all you're doing. You're just taking space away from the monkey mind with the breath, taking away the space from the monkey mind by coming back into the body, taking space away from the monkey mind by noticing it rather than getting lost in it. And eventually, that will become a habit for whenever you find yourself sitting still with nothing to do, no screens around. And you will actually begin to seek those moments where you want to be alone, where you want to sit, where you want to watch the mind, where you want to watch the body, where you want to watch life be life rather than get distracted from it. Where this moment that you're running from is going to be something you're going to run to because of the peace that it gives you. The way it settles the mind eventually. Yeah, your thoughts are going to continue. You can't stop thinking. Your mind thinks, right? So you could be meditating for years as I have, and you'll still find yourself, running off into narrative when you try to meditate or sit still. I still get bored at times, but much, much less than I ever have before, because I don't need the distraction anymore. I realize what distraction is. I realize that it's pulling me away from what's really important. And I sigh in relief sometimes when I don't have distraction and I can just sit and be with what is. Because that's what's really, really important, people. Being with what is. The day can go away from you so fast when you're scrolling. When you're sitting on your phone, hours will go. Morning will turn into afternoon, afternoon will turn into evening, evening into night. You can get in this busy world, the technology-driven world, productivity-driven world. It's so easy to get lost and pulled away from who we are and what's really important. We have to make it a point to realize that calming this nervous system, calming this mind, calming this body, being in this moment is what's important. And eventually we'll, kick the boredom problem. And we'll find ourselves getting less and less bored and more peaceful in every moment that we experience. Well, again, 8 minutes over 10 minutes. Sorry, guys. These two topics today were very exciting for me and very important. So I guess I rambled on. Thank you for joining me, and I do hope you have an amazing, amazing day. Namaste.